Flex, the livest one in the section. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Wow. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Lightweight, baby. It's time to bleed. Wow. Dwayne Jones. King Jr. Macadon 1. Burt. Adrian Bay. Southern T Boxing. Salute, family. How are you? Viva tu vida. Hold on, let me see something. Okay. Dysfunctional veteran. What's good, family? It's all good, family. It's all good, family. Much appreciated. Thank you for showing up. Daniel Mitchell. It's good. Simon Bridgman. Pablo Escobar. 909. Salute, family. Eric Holt. Jamil Allen. What up? Man, this thing jumped. Stupid. Man. Right. Duke Todd. Ern Jordan. Rick Blackwell. Bruce Goals. Salute, OG. Jay Walt. Justin Jacobs. Dirty Shivo. What up? Fred Rhodes. The Pyramids. Troll Killer, Mr. Shelton in the building. King Bonnie. Anthony Bolton. Anwar Willis. Hot Footage. Xavier, what's good, family? The eye jokes are never going to slow down. Tanisha, the young goddess, salute, sis. Jose Diaz, 88 Sports Talk. Healer, the mind, body, and coach. Go subscribe to my brother. Young World. All right, let's get started. Sweet Tea, good morning, sis. Wayman Davis, Pink Meadows, salute. All right. This is gonna be like open. It's like an open topic because I'm really like legitimately asking the question, and it's okay. Kitty Peeps was good. It's okay if a hater shows up. If they show up and they try and justify Eddie Hearn, I'll address what they say. But here's the question. What did you learn from Hearn? What did we learn from Hearn? Now, let's be clear. I'm going to jump around here because there's so many examples. But where the haters will think. Thomas, what's good, bro? It's my dude right there. Hold on, let me tighten you up. Right here. There you go. That's my nooker, Thomas. I know him in real life. Went to high school together. I'm glad you're here because the exercise today is we're gonna review anything. No, we don't have to go in order. But we're just gonna ask the questions, okay? Because when you analyze, when you have to make an educated decision on something, you have to analyze the situation. Ladies, when you are when you're trying to make a decision to deal with a man or not, there are certain things that you must consider. Men, when you're choosing to deal with a woman, there are certain things as it pertains to you and your needs you have to consider. So I'm asking about Eddie Hearn. What did we learn? Now I have him on the body. I put his face on the body of Doink the Clown, the wrestler. Y'all remember Doink? Because Eddie's a clown, in my opinion. He's a clown. Now I know a whole bunch of people in the UK love him. Whenever he does a interview on IFL, he has a whole slew of people saying that he's the best promoter in the game. And you know what? He is. Because he has us talking. I'm dedicating this show to him. He knows how to promote. But here's the deal. Just because you're celebrated, don't mean you're great. Just because you have the gift of gab, don't mean that you're great. Want an example? Y'all remember a rapper by the name of Vanilla Ice? The year that he was hot, he won a lot of awards. Y'all remember that year? Who go back that far? Some of y'all wasn't even born to witness that. That was like the early 90s. Supreme Beast Boxing Talk in the building. Go subscribe to my brother. That's right. Ice Baby. Remember that? He was everywhere. I think he had commercials. He got a movie deal. He was working with Suge Knight. Yeah. Y'all do the research on that. That's something else. But he was winning award after award after award after award. Did that mean he was the greatest rapper alive? He wasn't even the greatest rapper alive when he was winning those awards. Just because you're celebrated doesn't mean you're great. And it's unfortunate how he ended up, because when you just to digress on him for a second, when you listen to his story, he never wanted that. They just put the white face on Front Street. He could rap a little bit. And he could, as it pertained to that era, he could dance. Believe it or not, he could. He could dance. He could dance on beat. And the other culture said, hey, we can vibe with that. Now we don't have to listen to rap music in our headphones and our parents won't look at us strange. Because now we have a white rapper to follow. Hey, Vanilla Ice, baby. Ding, ding. He won all the awards. You look at him, like, you talk to him about that career that he had. He said, I never wanted that. I was really into hip hop. And they took me and made me this marketing scheme, and Suge Knight's hanging me off the side of buildings, office hours from 9 to 5 type thing, and jerked me out of my money, and that was the end of it. Vanilla Ice overshadowed a lot of real hip hop, but I knew better. A lot of people knew better. You ride around the streets of New York, no one was blasting Ice Ice Baby unless you went to a certain neighborhood. But you couldn't tell that kid nothing. And you try to have a debate with a kid that doesn't really know hip hop, which I did back then. Did you hear the new? I'm down in Florida, way below the Mason-Dixon line. Did you hear that new Vanilla Ice? Y'all listen to Vanilla Ice up there in the Bronx? No. Oh, come on. He's the hottest thing out. He's the best rapper alive. And I'm looking at him like dogs. I live where hip hop started. That guy's not good. Enjoy it while you can. He's what you call a marketing scheme. And he's not good. And this kid tried to argue me down. This is a white kid from the South trying to tell me about rap music, about hip hop culture. You see what he did? You see what that did? That situation did? Vanilla Ice, and where is he now? And this is no shot to him because he really is upset about his career. He didn't mean all of that. But no one talks about, is Vanilla Ice going to Hip Hop Hall of Fame? The Rap Hall of Fame? There's a hip hop museum opening up soon right here in the Bronx. Is he going to be in it? Maybe. When they talk about train wrecks and marketing schemes, he's going to come up. They're going to mention him. Do you think that's how he wanted to be remembered? No. Then you remember when he came back and tried to change his image and he had dreadlocks and he's talking about smoking weed all day. I was like, oh man, how the mighty have fallen. Now he's trying to identify with us. But he was celebrated once upon a time, and that's my point. Just because you're celebrated don't mean you're great. Salute to Simon Bridgman in that super chat. Much love and appreciation with those euros. He says, salute, Drew. I have learned that Hearn is a devil through and through. Devil simply means deceiver. Hearn deceived many and still does. And you know something? You're absolutely right, family. Because Mo Boxing, salute. LeVon Gala, slip the jab, salute. And you know what? Even the devil still has followers. Am I lying? The devil had followers. There's nothing, with some of these unconditional fans, there's nothing that Eddie Hearn can do wrong to them. Because to hold him accountable to what he hasn't done is a contradiction to their core beliefs. Hence the term cognitive dissonance. Your core beliefs makes you refuse to believe everything else. And that is a sad state of affairs. So Eddie Hearn is celebrated. Hell, Arturo Gatti was celebrated. But what do we know about Arturo Gatti? The blood and guts warrior. Jim Lampley dedicated a whole list to that man. And I'm like, he couldn't say Marvin Hagler list. He couldn't say Bernard Hopkins list, because when he made that list, Bernard was still active. But Marvin Hagler wasn't. You couldn't say Marvin Hagler list. I mean, I don't know. Willie Pep list. If you didn't want to make a black list, Willie Pep. Fred Gomez list. You had to do a Gatti list, man. A Gatti list? But what do we know about Gatti? He was either going to win big or he was an ass whooping waiting to happen. Am I lying? But he got a whole list. A whole list. Mickey Ward got a whole movie. And I personally thought Arturo Gatti's story was more interesting than Mickey Ward. And there's no shot to Mickey Ward. But Mickey Ward got a whole movie about his life. And I said, well, okay, shout out to him. But wow. Wow. Celebrate it. Thomas says Gaddy in the Hall of Fame was a joke. You know what's a joke also, family? You know what's also a joke? I'm going to tell you what's a joke. How the hell did Rocky Balboa get into the Hall of Fame before Joe Frazier? They made a statue for Rocky III, the movie, in Philly, and they just like left it there. It was like a prop for a film, believe it or not. I'm talking to the kids that were born in 2000, 2003, 2005, that live in Philly or have been to Philly and say, oh, wait, what is that? That's Rocky? That's the Rocky? Yeah, that's Sylvester Stallone as Rocky. That was made for the movie Rocky III. Can I break down Rocky III real quick? And I know we're talking about Eddie Hearn, but look, can I break down Rocky III for y'all? For those of you that missed it, Rocky III came out, damn, how old was I? Rocky IV came out when I was in 5th grade. So that means Rocky III came out when I was like in 4th grade or I forget. But listen, when I got older, you know, Rocky is the underdog story. But my pops always took me to see them. And I remember, and my pops loves boxing. And my pops, my uncles, everybody. And I remember sitting in the theater, and every time I look at my father, he'd be like this at certain parts of the scene. And I know that look on my dad. I'm like, what's wrong with him? He's pissed off about something. And then there was certain scenes you hear him go, oh, boy. And I'm like, man, what's wrong with him? And that's right, Xavier. Fernando Vargas may as well be there. And he's going to be there. But Rocky, man, Rocky got there before Diego Corrales. Man, I can go on and on. But look, I'm like, what's going on with my pops? Then he come home and talk to my mother. Yeah, saw the Rocky movie. And yeah, you going to like this one. You going to like this one. Another black guy. It was funny. And at that age, I understood racism or whatever, but I didn't understand in depth. Now, as I got older, I go back and I said, oh, wow. Do you know what you know what sums it up? About, Rocky III, 1982, I was 7 when that came out. You know what sums it up about Rocky? Rocky in Rocky III was feeling himself. He was getting all these knockouts. People loved him. He was on the Muppet Show. I'm going back for y'all. Y'all don't remember the Muppet Show. But Sylvester Stallone, the actor, was on the Muppet Show, and that was big when you got on the Muppet Show. Jim Henson and everything. And they put a little clip of him on a Muppet Show. So it's like, oh, that's Sylvester Stallone. So they're saying that Rocky was on the Muppet Show. And he, all kinds of shoe deals or, endorsements. And he's knocking everybody out. And you see Mickey, his trainer, like, so y'all know the scene. We talk about it all the time. You see Mr. T as Clubber Lang showing up to Rocky's fights, and he's looking all disgruntled. So now he's talking about retiring, and he shows up and he crashes the party. You know the scene. And, hey, woman, come get with a real man. And Rocky got all crazy. He's like, Mickey, I want to fight this guy. He says, no, you're not fighting those guys. And then that's when Mickey spills the beans. Joe, I've been giving you light work. You've been fighting setup fights. I've been giving you light work because you lost your edge. The money got to you. And these were setup fights. But this guy right here, you need to stay away from this guy. You need to stay away from this guy. This guy's a killer. This guy, not good for you. And if you fight this guy, I'm not going to be in your corner. John Kuhn, what up? Rasheed Walk. Yep. Yeah, Paulie was a bigot. And he did that on purpose. Now, peep game. Now, this is why I like the Rocky movies. Because there was a lot of truth in those movies. Of course, Rocky's the hero. Of course, I get it. He's the underdog from Philadelphia, fighting town, and he's an Italian. Okay? But Pete, I want you to understand something. In Rocky 3, I do. Viva, I do. I'm going to get one. In Rocky 3, right, he forced that fight with Clubber Lang. Of course, Mickey he was ill. They had a little scuffle. Mickey had a heart attack, laying down, and Rocky goes into the ring with a heavy heart, worried about Mickey, but he just wasn't prepared to fight Clubber Lang in that style. He wasn't prepared. So he had a heavy head. His mind was somewhere else. And he lost. He got knocked out brutally. He lost. Badly. He lost bad. Now, if that was real as a fan, you're like, yo, he was just talking about retirement, got in there, got destroyed. He need to retire. Don't even run that back. He goes in, and it was sad. He goes into the locker room. Mickey dies. That was sad. So now he's contemplating, yo, do I even want to do this anymore? He goes to the gym and Apollo shows up. Now here's where it's pivotal. And this is why I love Rocky 3. You know what flew over everybody's head? Why did Rocky beat Clubber Lang? The same reason why Arturo Gatti's career got somewhat extended when he got with Buddy McGirt. Apollo taught Rocky how to fight with soul. Remember how they were in the mirror doing foot movement? Working the jab. He wasn't going in head first anymore. Taught him how to box. Yeah, John Cool, it was because you remember Eddie Murphy Raw when he made fun of that? You know, he was going to, he said to go into the movies and you see the Italian dude come out after the Rocky movie. All right, Rocco! Goes to order some food. He's like, yeah, let me get some juju beans and this movie's going to pay for it. The black dude look at him and say, oh, you just saw Rocky, didn't you? Ambulance shows up. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to make it. Black man got his foot up his ass. Yeah. Rocky made a lot of people feel themselves, but they're not looking at the story behind it. Rocky had to learn how to fight different. What did Rocky do when he showed up in Detroit? I think it was Detroit. The Eye of the Tiger. That's where it came from. Dun, dun, dun. Eye of the Tiger. He took Rocky into the gym. He said, you see that look? You lost that look. When you fought me, you had that look. Look at them. That's the Eye of the Tiger. And he went and met all the fellas, all the black fighters. Paulie was mad racist. Mad racist. I get it. But Apollo showed him how to fight different. Apollo came up with the game plan. Apollo lost to Rocky. Only thing that got Rocky over Apollo in Rocky 2 was his grit and his heart. Sort of like, sounds similar to a real life situation. You know, Malik Scott lost to Deontay and now he's in there and Deontay's looking different. But never mind. Ern Jordan, yeah, Paulie. Paulie was mad racist. Paulie was mad racist. But, you know, he did that on purpose because that's just how some of these dudes is raised. And he wanted to reflect that in the film. He did a good job reflecting that. There's the old sitcom that y'all gotta Google it now or on YouTube called All in the Family. And the main character was called Archie Bunker. And he was a racist against everybody, not only black people, but against everybody. He was like, yeah, I was on the bus today and I was sitting next to an Italian and 50% of them smelled like garlic. I was like, damn. But Archie Bunker was a racist. You know? Salute to my brother, LaRon. What up? Broken Traditions in the building. You got to watch Rocky. Yeah, peep that. I'm telling you. Go watch Rocky 3. Go. And it didn't register to me as a kid. But as I got older, because they played it on TV a million times. A million times. Right? Look at the message behind that film. His trainer died, and Apollo had to come in and redo everything. And when he came in and fought Clubber Lang, there was a game plan. But he taught him how to fight differently. All right. Oh, all right. Yo, hit me later. Yeah, definitely. Everyone go subscribe to Broken Traditions. It's the brother LaRon. Get that education. How's our S? Salute. Hold on, y'all. Wives bought on me. Anyway, the Brothers UK salute. Mo Boxing salute. Yeah. Go back and watch Rocky 3. Forget what. Well, you can watch Rocky 1. Watch all of them, except Rocky 5. That was an absolute train wreck. But watch 1 through 4 and listen to how it's discussed. Yeah. Oh, little TV history. Y'all remember the Jeffersons? We're moving on up. Those characters were spun off of All in the Family. The Jeffersons were characters on All in the Family. Sherman Helmsley wasn't the first George Jefferson. There was another actor. I forgot. Sherman Helmsley wasn't the first. That was the second George Jefferson. I forgot the name of the first actor. But then Sherman Helmsley came in, and Sherman Helmsley was pro-black, and Archie Bunker was a white racist, and they would get into these arguments all the time, but the wives were cool. You know what I'm saying? And then the Jeffersons spun off of that because, George was a successful small business owner. And they moved to the deluxe apartment in the sky. We're moving on up. Yeah. Salute to Rampage Jackson. He says, salute Drew. Mr. T should have won an Oscar for his role as Clubber Lang. Rocky 3 was my favorite amongst the Rocky movies. Yeah. Mr. T played the hell out that role, man. Mr. T was like, he was on fire in the 80s, man. He was on fire in the 80s, man. He was everywhere. The first WrestleMania, which was huge, that was pivotal. He had his own cartoon on Saturday mornings out here. What else? He was on the A-Team. Mr. T was everywhere. He had like motivational movies on NBC. It's crazy, man. Mr. T. Oh, Javaris, nah, I haven't implemented that. I thought about it. I thought I might do it. I haven't considered. Mr. King Palmer, salute, family. Yeah, Mr. T's in the WWE Wrestling Hall of Fame. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Yeah, prize fighter. He had a cereal. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. What? Oh, yeah. I got to get better with that. I'm sorry, family. Salute to my brother, Mo Boxing. In that Cash App, man. Much love and appreciation, man. Yes, sir. Those euros. The euro is just pooping on the American dollar. Let me tell you about it. Crush the legend, salute. I know Bruce Goes, he remember all of that. He was an adult when all of that. He remembers Rocky 3. He remember all of them, man. Yeah, Mr. T Mystery, man. Mr. T was everywhere, man. But he played the hell out of Clubber Lang. I want when Stallone started doing the Rocky, well, the Creed movies, I just knew. Oh, the UK pounds, my bad. See, I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to stuff overseas. Hold on, I'm sorry, I was reading something. Mr. T didn't get famous from doing that thing in the bars, breaking through doors. Yeah, I remember that. He was also he also won a bunch of tough guy fighting competitions. He could fight for real. On some Kimbo Slice type of fighting though. Not no, you know, sort of like the Butterbean version. And shout out to Butterbean. I like Butterbean. I like Eric actually. He was fun to watch. Shout out to Ian Levant in that super chat. He said Sherman Hemsley was actually the first. Oh, he was. He was actually the first George Jefferson. It was son Lionel. It was a son Lionel who was played by two different. No. Did you? I gotta Google that because I remember there was another George Jefferson in All in the Family. I could be wrong. I know Lionel, the son Lionel, had two different actors. There was a dark-skinned brother and a light-skinned brother. I think the dark-skinned brother was the last Lionel. I think. But in All in the Family, the character George Jefferson, I'm pretty sure Sherman Hemsley was the second one. I'll Google it. I could be wrong, but I'll Google it. Bruce Goes, are you familiar with that? You know, that's the OG right there. But Rocky 3 was a pivotal movie because there were two, and Faith Across says there were two in All in the Family. Right. I think Sherman Hemsley was the second one. He was the second one. Yeah, so Rocky 3 told a lot of truth about fighters changing, trainers, and going through things emotionally, like how life happens, but you still got to fight on. It's your choice. You could leave. And where he was financially, Rocky Balboa, the character, financially, he was all set, had the big mansion, the talking robot that was state of the art back then. He had the son, had the you know, everything was fine. Everything was paid for. Everything was, you know, and he was like, yo, there's nothing else for me to do. I'm going to retire. And then Clubber Lang came out and set it off. So that wasn't about money. It was about get back. He had to get the eye of the tiger back. And who better to help him but his friend and former opponent, Apollo Creed. Rocky 3 was very pivotal. In Rocky 1, Apollo Creed chose Balboa. Why? There was a story behind it. He says it in the film. Italian, descendant of Italian immigrants from Philly. The rags to riches story. He conjured that up in The Office. Go watch the first Rocky movie, the first one. He conjured it up. And then his trainer was watching Rocky punch. Let me pull something in. Y'all know the meme. This right here. You know, when I'm talking boxing live, the trolls are beating their meat. But his trainer is watching Rocky punch the ribs in the meat factory, and he's on the news. And while Apollo's running his mouth, he's looking at the video on TV, and he says, yo, Apollo, you know what? I'm going to need you to take this guy serious because he's not coming to lay down. Now, in Rocky 1, what a lot of kids don't know, Rocky lost on the cards. He won the fight, didn't win the war just yet. And then Rocky 2, Apollo says, no, I'm fighting him again. And then his trainer threw everyone out the room, and he said, champ, listen to me. Something bothers me about this guy. He says, man, I won. I'll beat him easy next time. He said, no, you're not understanding. You hit him. You kept hitting him. You kept hitting him. He says, yeah, I'm going to hit him again. He says, no, champ. He looked around. He said, he kept coming. He would not stop. He kept coming. Boxer versus a puncher. And in Rocky 2, the puncher won by half a second. By half a second. And that's what the ending of Rocky 3 was, when they had that fight at the end, the little spawn session at the end. He said, you beat me by half a second. I can't live with that. And they ran it back. Just them two. Salute to Jeff the producer in that super chat. Salute to you, family. Much love and appreciation, man. Good times, man. But Rocky 3 is a classic movie. You know, I didn't allow the racists to steal my joy away from I didn't allow the racists to take away what I got from the film and enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And a racist could look at it and say, oh, yeah, you know, the white guy beat the black guy. No. The white guy beat the black guy because he needed the black guy's help. If Apollo just put his hands in his pocket and say, yo, look, man, I could lace him up and beat Lang if I wanted to. I know that. But I'm retired. Yep. And then they got their get back and forth because, you know, Apollo dies in the ring. And that's when Rocky had to revert to who he used to be with that iron skull just to walk through Drago. And that was just an emotional win for him. Come on, man. I like the Rocky series because as I got older, it's a direct reflection of what boxing is in real life. Reflection. So I guess I get putting him in the Hall of Fame. But there was a lot of fighters that could have went before Sylvester Stallone. Salute to Iron Levant in that super chat. He says, do people know that Rocky character is based off Chuck Warner? And Apollo Creed is supposed to be a muscular Ali. True story. Yo, listen. A lot of these characters are a direct reflection of people in real life. I sort of figured that. I did. I sort of figured that. Like X-Men. Did y'all know that Professor X and Magneto are Martin Luther King and Malcolm X? Professor X is saying, yo, look, we need to make peace with the human race. They're not comfortable with us, but we need to let them know that we're not gonna like take over the world. And Magneto's like, yo, they're throwing rocks at us. They're trying to kill us. Nope, by any means necessary. We're Homo superior. That's how it said a Homo sapien. He said we're superior to them in every way. Now, we would be chilling and not bothering them, but every time I turn around, they're busting guns at us. There's mutants that just have disfigured faces but no powers, and they're getting bullied and killed. I'm not going to have this. Not while I have the power. And he left and went up and lived on asteroid M, above the Earth. Go back to Africa. You get the connection? Yeah. I love comics. Okay. So Stan Lee did that on purpose. And he said that. He said, I based these two characters off of Dr. King and Malcolm X. They both loved their people, but they had different ideologies about handling things. Professor X was turn the other cheek. Turn the other cheek. If I shoot rays out my eyes or I can grow to the size of a building, I'm not going to let anybody come jump me. No. I'm a Magneto guy. Anyway. Yep. So yeah, back to Eddie Hearn. You know, sometimes we got to chop it up. We family. Sometimes we got to chop it up about other things. But it's all relevant. It's boxing. But what did we learn about Eddie Hearn? This show ain't long enough to run down the lies that I'm sure I did a show. Matter of fact, I know I did a show about the lies that he's told. And how I remember Blue Blood threw a mic in his face and asked him a question. It was about proof of funds. Deontay Wilder does not have $50 million. And he says, well, if he has it, where's it coming from? Let's see proof of funds. I didn't know that it's important where it's coming from. If you see the money, at that point, he didn't see the money. I know what you meant, brother. Chuck Wepner. Yeah. Yes, sir. It was Chuck Wepner. Yeah. Yep. He says, oh, yeah, he has it. Let's see proof of funds. Let's see proof of funds. And then I think a week later, no, it might have been, I think Blue asked him the same question. He said, yeah, you asked to see proof of funds. He said, I never said that. Dude, yes, you did. And then when he sees proof of funds, he says, hey, man, you know, I saw the offer. It was substantial. But there's some things we have to work out. Then later on, AJ says, I'm not going to sell my soul for $50 million. But when Deontay says, I'm not selling my soul for $100 million, and DAZN apologized to him. Now, let me paint this picture. They wanted to sign Deontay Wilder $100 million. D never said, let me see proof of funds. Well, I don't know if he said that. But for him to sit there and yeah, they do, Joe Strummer. I know a lot about the Kronk Gym. I bet you I know more about the Kronk Gym than you do. I bet you Tommy Hearns can tell you a lot about gloves in the Kronk Gym. Uh-oh. Don't play this game with me, dude. Remember who you're talking to. Don't play this game with me. I know a lot about that gym. I know a lot about what goes on in that gym, or what went on in that gym. Fighters have told me. I tell a story all the time about that flapping glove, how I knew what I was looking at when it was pointed out to me. The coach that showed me that when I was about 10, guess where he was from? Detroit. Now, I don't know if he was from the Kronk. He was from Detroit. That I remember. But anyway, let me tell you what was about to happen. D was supposed to sign, a 3-fight deal with DAZN. 3 fights. They were going to pay for Dominic Brazil. And I think a fight of his choice. And D didn't take the deal because AJ wasn't in it. All right. And without getting too much into the rigmarole, when he left the table, did DAZN not apologize? They did. And that's a fact. They said sorry because they didn't have their business in order. He did not take the deal because AJ wasn't a part of it. Now, what if Deontay signed that deal, right? AJ messed around because AJ's not a DAZN fighter. He's a Matchroom fighter. AJ messed around and lost to Andy Ruiz. And then had to have a rematch. And as a Matchroom fighter, he could have went in any direction. And D would have been tied down in a DAZN contract. Yeah, he'd have had $100 million. Hearn would have probably threw the liking at him. Dillian White may have done it. And who else for that third fight? Honor skill salute. He'd have been tied down there, and you know what his fans would have did? They'd have been laughing. AJ's fans. Aha. AJ got his belt back, and he can go ahead and do this and that. Deontay's tied up with this DAZN. He chased the money, but I thought it was about one face, more name, but he chased the money. Y'all remember how mad Eddie Hearn got when he didn't show up to the AJ fight? I forget who he was fighting. Remember how mad he got? I can't believe Deontay ain't show up. And you know what he said? See, it was a fraudulent slip. He said, this is a big event. Dillian White's here. I said, oh, you know what he was going to do? D was supposed to show up there thinking he was going to face off against AJ. You know what happened? Know what was going to happen? He was going to throw Dillian White in his face. Because that was the talk of the town. But I want y'all to remember something. Y'all remember this? Y'all remember that? Remember that? I remember that. Fury was mouthing off. I'll smack Wilder around, and I'll smack AJ around, and Fury, he says, "Your Fury into the ring, I'll knock him out." Deontay says, "Yo, I'm coming to the fight." This man want to say, "Hey, yo, call the police. He can't enter the ring. I don't want to get to the fans in an uproar about something that's not going to happen." Dude, you faced off against Vladimir Klitschko. Come to find out, that fight wasn't even signed. Nothing. But you won your bout, and he got in the ring, and y'all faced off. The paperwork wasn't even, the pen wasn't even hitting the paper, man. What are you doing? So that was okay. But Deontay flying over to the UK and facing off with you, that's a no-no. You don't want to get the fans. You see, you got to listen when these people talk. You don't want to get the fans in an uproar for something that's not going to happen. Really, dude? Uh-huh. Time reveals all truth. You never wanted that fight, dude. That's real spill. Time reveals all truth, because now y'all just mad at this guy. Eddie, Bob. And you see, getting back to Eddie Hearn. Hold on. Let me scroll up for a second. Nope. I didn't. I just got out of bed a little while ago. No. Not an officer. What are you doing to get locked up today that you have to worry about what I'm doing? What are you doing today that you got to worry about what I'm doing? But I'm glad you're here. You know, I enjoy the eyesight. So anyway, this is what happens when you put everyone on Front Street. Now, you see we're sitting here, we're just talking boxing, and we're pointing out the discrepancies. And I have a stalker. And I could play with the food and talk about what Google paid me this month, and I could do all of that, but whatever. So anyway, there was no face-off. This guy got mad, and Eddie Hearn was so pissed off. Eddie Hearn, he's gonna throw that guard dog at D, and he didn't take the bait. That's why. And I remember saying, y'all hope D don't show up. I hope D don't show up. Everyone was talking about, he's gonna crash the party. Nope. He stayed his ass right here in the United States. And I'm glad he did. Why do I have a list of things that Eddie Hearn said that just didn't come true? Blatantly lying. He lies to your face, man. And for some reason, he got fans that think it's cute. You see, I'm going to talk about complexion now. How many channels, non-black channels, get harassed like how the black channels get harassed? The black channels that talk boxing impartially. Go to their comment section. Do people run up in Mexican channels and start calling them all kinds of racial slurs? I mean, I don't know. Let me know, because I don't hear about it. Do they go to the UK guys, the white guys, and get in the chat and start calling them all kinds of racists? I can tell you for a fact. I've been to a couple of those channels, literally too, and I don't see it. I don't see it. But this man can get up here and do this.
Next week, mate. Next week.
Completely fail on his face and smile about it. Do you notice he was smiling in this? Look.
Next week, mate. Next week.
It's funny to him. It's funny to him. It's funny to him. It's funny. Blue said, was it Blue? I want to say it's Blue Blood. He said, yo, man, you asked to see proof of funds. He said, I didn't say that. I never asked to see proof of funds. Dude, yes, you did. You said, let's see proof of funds. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And instead of believing what your own eyes and your ears have heard, people got in the chat and started saying, well, he didn't mean that. He meant this. Really? But when Kevin Aioli releases a 10-second clip of a 30-minute interview, and I know for a fact it was a 30-minute interview, remember who I talked to. And all you hear is Deontay saying, yeah, the suit was entirely too heavy. Take that little bit and run with it. I could say,
next week, mate. Next week.
Oh, you know what he was talking about? He was talking about grocery shopping. When you gonna go shopping, Eddie? You ain't got no food in your house. When you gonna go shopping?
Next week, mate. Next week.
What was he talking about there? I could say he was talking about anything. I could say anything. That's what makes this thing fun. Yo, look, newsflash. This just in. Tyson Fury's sparring partner got beat up real bad Just last night, I got word. But he has a very strange injury.
With all due respect, he's also suffering from anal bleeding. What?
Well, that was crazy. Salute to Lewis Hinton in that super chat. Huh. Uh-oh. Y'all want to play with editing voices and stuff? Y'all want to spin things? Release half-truths? Huh? I'll cut you. I'll cut you. Y'all want to play this game? Complexion for the protection. I'll cut you. Eddie Hearn lying and his fans enabling him to lie? We get things like this.
Just got off the phone from Prince Khalid of Saudi Arabia. He told me this flight's a 100% on. August 14th, 2021, summertime. All eyes of the world will be on the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I cannot wait, repeat, cannot wait to smash Anthony Joshua on the biggest stage of all times. This is going to be the biggest sporting event ever to grace the planet Earth. Do not miss it. All eyes on us. Peace out. God bless. See you all in Saudi. Yes.
Well, that aged well, didn't it? I'll cut you. I will cut you. It's like a long, sharp sword. Y'all remember that rump shaker? It's like a long, sharp sword. Hot trolls. That's what I tell your mammy. That's what I tell your mom. Drew, how's it look? It's like a long, sharp sword. Can I see? You sure? I'm curious.
Give power to my nigger sword!
Oh. 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 Y'all want to play? I swoop into the trolls' mama house because they such fans of me. I'm saved in their bookmarks. They asking me for OnlyFans. And I'll be swooping in on that crib.
Then let him taste the fury of my nigger sword!
Oh, y'all mad because your moms and your girls love me. Oh. But enough of the jokes. This is serious. This is serious. Eddie Hearn is a liar. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. This last lie oh, the trolls don't want to play with me. Yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad that go to my old videos and scroll down and read the comments. I got trolled. Me and Tay got trolled so bad. You know what I'm saying? Over this Saudi Arabia thing and AJ versus Fury. We got trolled so bad. So I had about an hour to myself yesterday. And I went back. I had a BFTB moment. I was just being petty. And I went back and I said, let me go back to my old videos. And all the way up until this guy lied about Saudi Arabia 24 hours prior to the arbitration ruling was announced. How do you feel? Everything is close your channel. They want us to go away. How do you feel now? This aged well. You're looking stupid. And by the way they type, I can tell where they're from. Whether they're from here or from overseas. I went back to like 30 of those guys and just cut and paste the same thing. Go look at it. I am the Drew. Nah, Jeffrey Lopez, that was Thunder the Barbarian. I am the truth. When I tell you something, I give you gems. So you need to listen and stop resisting. I'm not just a fan like most of those guys are, reacting off of emotion. If I'm not sure about something, I'd say, yo, look, I'm not sure. But I've developed a friendship. Oh, yeah, they call me an Eddie Hearn hater. Yeah, good. I am. You see how easy that is? I am. I'm not going to go in here and say, yo, well, I love Eddie, but no. Like you know, oh, I like Wilder, but I'm a Wilder fan, but no, I don't like Eddie Hearn. And let me add to this. Y'all remember the takeover? Eddie Hearn with the American takeover? Y'all remember that? You know what I said? And Xavier and Thomas, they're in the chat. I know those guys personally. They can vouch for me. I said, you look, I don't like this guy. But boxing is in a weird state right now. And if he can come over with that $1 billion bag, remember everyone was talking, oh, he got $1 billion from this Russian investor who has endless money, who's going to dump money into boxing. All of that, well, you know what the translation was? Come over here and dump money in it and just steamroll Al Heyman and get him out the business because you guys never even heard of Al Heyman. All you know is that all the fighters was gravitating towards this black man and we was getting free boxing and y'all didn't like it for whatever. If we getting free boxing on TV, quality fights, and you didn't like it for whatever reason. The reason was because he's a black man. Let's call it what it is. So you wanted this guy, Eddie Hearn, to come over here with this $1 billion bag and just flood out and flush out Al Heyman so he can go away. So you can pay for an app to watch boxing. Newsflash, casuals don't love boxing like that. Now, what were you going to do to make the casuals purchase the application? You should have did what Triller is doing now. But you didn't know to do that. Why? Because Eddie Hearn did not understand the American market. I said that. I said, yo, look, he got all this money, but he don't understand the market, man. I could tell. Understanding our market, it's more than just coming over here with shades on and trying to talk with our swag. Yeah, you got my attention, but unless you do something, you're looking stupid. Trying to talk like us, walk like us. You ever had a foreigner come through your hood? And he's trying to be like you. You're like, poor guy. You're trying to dress like this and act like that, but I hear your accent. Your English is not good enough. How about this? Stop trying to be like us. You don't have to assimilate. Be you. He couldn't even do that. So he came over here with all that money. The first person he tried to bag was who? Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner said, I don't care how much money you got, kick rocks. I'm loyal to Al. Went to the Charlos, went to Wilder. So he struck out all over the place. He ended up he got Danny Jacobs. and Boo Boo Andre. What? Look at Boo Boo now. He made a boo-boo. Danny Jacobs got a Canelo fight. Failed. Now what? So he struck out all over the place. No one's holding him accountable. Y'all remember that? The $1 billion bag? Y'all remember that? He has endless money. Thomas, am I lying? He has endless money from the Russian. This is what the fans was telling me. He's gonna take over. And you know what I said? I said, you know what? Boxing is in a weird position. And I'm on record saying this. Whoever takes over boxing, if that person can get me the quality fights that I want, I'm good with it. If I have to pay to watch Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua on an app, I'll do it. I'll do it. If Eddie Hearn comes over here and gives me everything that I want, I'll just pay for the application. But I said, let's just watch and see what he does. What did he do? He should have had this whole thing on lock. This shouldn't even be a thriller. The man didn't understand the market, and he fumbled. He fumbled. Am I lying? Am I giving Eddie a hard time? Yeah, I am, but justifiably so. How could I believe what you say when I see what you do? Did we get Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder? No. And all he did was point the finger. And you talk to some of those fans, they say it's all Deontay's fault. No. When you go through the timeline, it's his fault. Why? Because he was the A side. It shouldn't be hard for an A side to make the fight. The man asked for $50 million. He got $50 million. They never said the money wasn't real. At first, they said we need to see proof of funds. First, they said the money wasn't real. How could a man from Alabama have $50 million? I'm supposed to believe some guy from Alabama. He put emphasis on that. He put emphasis on that. Some guy from Alabama has $50 million. D says, check your email. Then he says, we saw the order, we saw the offer, and it was substantial. We just have to check out some things. A few days later, AJ says, I'm not selling my soul for $50 million. Who lied? Who lied? I'm supposed to trust this guy? Thank you for making me right. And there's a list of other things. That was just one thing. But the latest thing was this situation. UK fans, haters. I don't know when or if ever you're going to hold this guy accountable, but good luck. Good luck. It's at the point where I don't even have to point anything out anymore. Look at what he did. Next week, mate, next week. Salute to Thomas Watson in that super chat. He said, that man Eddie ain't stupid. He knew what the deal is. UK fans are sheep, and Fast Eddie knows it. Exactly. Exactly. No glove tampering, no camera tampering, no nandrolone, no human growth hormones, no wild pig genitalia, no uncircumcised pig, no uncastrated pig, no brass knuckles, no water tampering. And we have a clean fight. And we have a clean fight. And let me point this out. Let me point this out. Again, Andre Berto, shout out to him, was in the barbershop the other day. Shout out to Fred, Barbershop Conversations. And he asked about Wilder Fury, and he spoke from a boxing perspective. And he didn't bring up the conspiracies, the alleges or nothing, because he doesn't know. And the chat was building up, and they were about to go crazy. And I sent the super chat in, and I just asked them. I asked in the super chat, why does he think it took a year for Tyson Fury to okay the fight? Something to that effect. Y'all can go back and look at it. And Dre said, I don't know. There's your answer. Because when you think about it, this has become the biggest attempted duck in the history of the sport between two of the biggest names in boxing today, where the loser has to chase down the person that whooped his ass. Now, when I just say that to someone and someone says, all right, well, tell me more. How do you explain that? Salute to Zenith 360 in that super chat. Much love and appreciation. He said, Hearn proved he not the man to take over boxing. He promoted himself more. He promoted himself more than any boxer or event. He burned bridges with half USA fans, never made a big fight, not even in the UK, and he's a snake. That part. That part. The guy's a snake, man. The guy's a snake. The snake, slither. There was a movie back in the 80s called it was about snakes. Google it. I'm not BSing you. The guy's so full of crap, his eyes are brown. This is ridiculous. But after Wilder decapitates Fury, we'll see how much Eddie Hearn wants undisputed, because they're already making the case for AJ not to fight Wilder. Do y'all peep that? I want y'all to listen to Eddie Hearn's conversation about what AJ's doing next. Slowly, the conversation of undisputed is going away. I'm telling you, man. So once again, I got news from the camp about a Fury sparring partner, and I hope he's okay.
With all due respect, he's also suffering from anal bleeding. What?
Prayers to that man. Prayers to that man. Anyway, I'm going to see y'all Sunday. The General's on. Much love and appreciation to all y'all. Bronx on deck.
Move!